Millions of Ukrainians have voted in parliamentary elections, which are expected to create a new and strongly pro-European parliament with a mandate to cement the country's geopolitical pivot away from Russia. The vote is the first parliamentary ballot since Ukraine's Euromaidan winter revolution that led to the ouster of Moscow-backed President Viktor Yanukovych in February and the subsequent Russian invasion of Crimea and East Ukraine. Not all Ukrainians were able to participate in the election, with millions of Crimean Ukrainians and many Ukrainians living in areas of East Ukraine unable to vote. However, some 40% of polling stations in Luhansk and Donetsk regions in the industrial east participated in the vote. Here in the Black Sea port of Mariupol, local residents and Ukrainian military personnel voted with the very threat of Russian military aggression still hanging over the city. I wanted to take part in elections. I'm an optimist. I think that Ukraine is really changing for the best and that everything will be fine. In Ukraine's war-torn east, busloads of voting soldiers added to the strong military presence. About 30 miles away from the insurgent-held city of Luhansk, Ukrainian troops in camouflage fatigues queued to vote in the town of Novy Aidar. More than anything, we want peace. The most important thing is peace, so everything will be calm and peaceful, so they will not be shooting at our grandchildren. For many residents, the vote was a chance to push for justice following months of destruction, which has caused thousands of deaths and ravaged the local economy. I expect justice and truth to win over and a real Ukrainian patriot to come to power. As for how I voted, it's all marked on the ballot paper. Voter turnout was modest, with the highest rates recorded in West Ukraine. In West Ukraine's regional capital Lviv, which lies close to the border with the EU, voter turnout was among the highest in the country, with many expressing hopes that the election of a new parliament would help unite Ukrainians after a year of revolution and war. I hope that we won't be disillusioned like in 2004, following the Orange Revolution. I hope that Ukraine will finally be free and independent and that war will be over. And I hope that people will support each other and the government will support the people as well. Initial exit polls suggest that Ukraine is on track to elect the most staunchly pro-European parliament since the country's independence in 1991. Parties tied to the Euromaidan protest movement look set to dominate the new parliament, while Russia-leaning political forces will have little representation in parliament. Nevertheless, many voters express skepticism that the new Europe-orientated parliament will be able to carry out the country's ambitious EU integration plans. I don't expect that the election will result in any major changes because I appreciate the realities of the current situation. I know how difficult it is for Prime Minister Yatsenyuk and for President Poroshenko as well. Everything will depend on the extent they're able to meet their electorate commitments and represent the will of the people. Full election results are expected in the coming days, opening the way for the formation of a new governing coalition, which is expected to be strongly supportive of Ukraine's EU integration ambitions.